Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for clicking on today's video, which is look number 3 of just this week using the Mikayla palette from Glamlite. My goal this week was to do lots of colorful looks using this Mikayla palette, and I've been having a lot of fun. So remember to check the description box for looks 1 and 2, as well as the week of playlist, which I can also card above for you. I hope that you enjoy this look. If you are new here, hello, my name is Rachel. I am a homeschooling stay-at-home mom. I love to play with colorful eyeshadow, and I upload multiple videos every week. They're all eyeshadow related. So if you like what you see and you want to see more, do remember to like and subscribe before you leave. And now let's zoom in and get going with this eyeshadow look. Okay, I have already primed my eyes using the Glamlite Icing Primer in the shade White Frosting. Everything that I'm using today is going to be linked down below in the description box. And remember, I'm trying to keep this look this week very colorful. So I've already used a blue and pink combination, and I've used the green, blue, yellow combination. So today I think I want to play with this shimmer and this matte up here. And I'm not sure what else I'm going to do, but we're going to start there. So I'm going to take this shade Willow with a small blending brush. And I've decided to do a halo eye, so I'm going to put it in my outer corner, and I'll also place it in my inner corner. I hope you guys are enjoying this video series. I have a lot of fun with these week of videos because sometimes I look at a palette and a couple of colors really stand out to me, and the rest recede into the background. So when I think about that palette, I think about those specific colors. But that can be rather limiting, especially if it's a bigger palette, because there might be tons and tons of other options, and I'm just not reaching into them because that's not the color combination that I may associate with that palette. But again, particularly with larger palettes, I don't want to limit myself to just the couple of colors that I associate with that palette. For example, with this Mikayla palette, I always think of it as being pretty heavy on the purples, and I remember that it has a great matte yellow, and a great matte pink, and a great matte blue, and also a fun lime green shimmer. But really, the palette does have a lot of other shadows, and they're all good. I mean, it's very good quality. So a video series like this, where I force myself to use the palette for an entire week, it really stretches me a bit. And this is easier with larger palettes, of course, but you can certainly do it with smaller palettes as well. It's just a matter of using what you've got, you know, and saying, hey, I have this palette that I thought was good enough, pretty enough, interesting enough to spend my money on the thing. I really want to use it and get the most out of it and have fun. That's the point. Have fun. Now I'm going to go into a new color. I'm going to use the shade Pot 2 with a smaller blending brush. I was going to use Frisky, but I think I used that before during this week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry this purple now a little bit further in towards the center of my lid space. The darkest shade in this palette is the Willow tone, so I can't go any deeper in my outer corner except to build onto itself. It's nicely blended, but I'm going to put a little bit more of a jewel-toned purple shade in here, just to make it interesting. Like I said, I really want this week of Mikayla to be very colorful. And so I'm trying to use a bunch of shadows and pair together different colors. This perhaps isn't the most creative option, but it's pretty nonetheless. I've used that to cap the center of the lid space. I've wiped off my brush. Now I'm going in very gently just on the edges of the colors, with no additional product, and I'll wipe off my brush and do it some more. I just want to soften these edges, but they're blending out so nicely that I don't need to use a transition color to blend them away. I don't need to use a skin tone shade or a translucent face powder or anything like that. They're softening very well. It's just a matter of getting it done. And you can see I've got a little bit of naked skin right in the center of my lid space, so that's where the halo eye or the spotlight is going to go. I know I said I wanted to play with that Naz shade, but I did use that in a different look this week, I'm pretty sure. So first I decided to grab the shade Manifest. I've put it on a flat brush and I've sprayed it, and I'm going to lay that down in the center of my halo eye. I may still use Naz. It's a little bit brighter than this one. Manifest is a little bit more of a silvery purple. Naz has a bit more silver in it. So I might use it, or I might not. I haven't decided. But I know that I didn't use Manifest before, so. I feel like when it comes to doing halo eyes, Glamlite and Beauty Bay are probably my two favorite brands to use, because out of my collection, the shimmers are the most impactful. They're so impressive. They're so bright and vibrant and reflective. I do have a Color Rain palette that has an incredible multi-chrome, but besides that one, the rest of the palettes in my collection have good shimmers. I mean, I don't keep it at this point if it's not good. I try not to buy it if it's not good. But the most impactful shimmers that I've got are Glamlite and Beauty Bay. So I get really great halo eyes that really catch the light when I use those shimmers. Even that, and just a column down the center, and what the heck, why not? I'll flip my brush over, grab the shade Naz, and plop it right on top in even a smaller column of the center. It's not really changing the color scheme, it's just adding an extra layer of silver-based shine. Okay, so I'm not sure what to do on the lower lash line. I could mirror everything, and that would be pretty. Or do I want to bring in another color? All right, I think I know what I want to do. Every time I have done a halo eye, possibly ever, I have just mirrored below what I did up top. And I usually do the shimmer down the center and mirror that on the lower lash line as well. And it's really pretty. But I want to push myself a bit today, so I'm going to change that up slightly. I'm going to take a smaller blending brush and go back into pot 2. I will lay this on my inner corner and my outer corner, but I'm going to leave the center blank. And now instead of bringing that shimmer down the center, I'm going to bring in a new color. So taking that same small blending brush, I'm going into the shade Rhody, which is that really nice sort of baby or sky blue matte. And I'm going to put Rhody in the center of the lower lash line. It's going to almost be like bringing the shimmer down in terms of continuing that pop of brightness in the center, but it's adding in a new shade now, a new color. I put a lot on my brush and it also picks up a lot. So I'm cleaning off my brush and carrying, like dragging that purple towards the blue so that the blue stays in the middle and doesn't overtake the purple too much. And of course, they'll blend together like a dream. There, that's fun, right? That's a little bit different than what I usually do. Yeah, I like that. Should I put shimmer? There's no blue shimmer in this palette. If there was, I might use it. There's no blue shimmer. Honestly, the closest shimmer would probably be that Naz shade, because it's a lighter toned purple. But I think I'll leave it as is. There's nothing in this palette that works for me as an inner corner highlight, except again that Naz shade. So because this is the week of Mikayla, I'll grab my same small blending brush. I'll just pick up some Naz and put that right here. Just a little bit. I wish there were 1 or 2 super light pastel mattes. I love a matte inner corner, but it needs to be bright enough to really lighten and brighten rather than just add in another shade. So pastel mattes work great as inner corner highlights, but this palette doesn't have any. That'll work. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera. I will choose a waterline color, finish up the other side, finish everything up. Be right back to show you how it looks in the end. Okay, here is how the look finished out. I did a wing in the outer corner, but it's terrible, so hopefully it's disappearing into nothing. On my waterline, I did 2 colors. I used white in the inner and outer corners, and then I used blue. This is a creme gel liner from ColourPop on the center of my waterline. So all of this stuff is linked down below in the description box, everything I'm using. Also, I kind of wanted to try contouring. I tend to use either bronzer or blush. And when I use bronzer, I have found that I often put it in kind of the same place as you would put a contour. So I tend to use bronzer as contour, and I felt like that wasn't quite right. So I looked up a little bit about the difference between the two. The idea of contour is that it adds shadow into your face and can help sculpt the face a little bit. And then the idea of bronzer is that you've got this sun-kissed glow, and then of course blush brings back in more color. Because if you do use a foundation, you've made all the colors in your face very even, but also very flat. So adding in these other steps can help bring more life back into your features. So anyway, because I have found that I tend to use bronzer as contour, I thought I should learn about what the difference was. And I decided to try to do a bit of a contour. So I took I don't own contour, so I took a brown eyeshadow that was cooler and a tiny bit more purpley toned, and I put that right here in the hollows of my cheeks. And then instead of using a bronzer and a blush, because I don't like to add lots of layers of face product, and honestly, for me, it's about the eyes. Everything else just enhances the eyes. So once I did that, I then took a little bit of blush from my Tarte palette, and I put that over top where you would generally put blush. So I don't know if you guys can see a difference. When I do the editing, I'll probably be able to tell, because I know my face well enough, and I know what it usually looks like, to be able to determine, oh yeah, that actually did make a difference. Or no, you can't tell. Also, I have pretty bad morning lighting right now. The sun's not up yet. It's thinking about it, but it's also pretty overcast today, so it's just this is what I have. But let me know in the comments if you can see that I did a little bit of contour and shaping over here. I don't know if if it makes a difference. But I just kind of wanted to try. It's not that I'm particularly interested. I like my face. I have no problems with my face. I'm not going to put tons of energy and time into trying to make my face look like a different shape. But realistically, sometimes you just want to try something in case you ever want to do it, so that you have a modicum of information and experience with that particular skill. And then if you decide to do it at a later point, you can go, oh yeah, I know a little bit about that. So that's kind of what I was feeling about contouring, as far as I just wanted to try it and see if it was something that I may like to do at some point, or if it was just, no, I'm good, I don't need to do that. So there you go. That was my little aside about contouring. On my lips, I'm wearing a NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Cranberry Pie, and that is the whole look. I hope you guys have enjoyed this look. I hope you liked the video. Remember to check the description box for all of this week's videos, as well as the week of playlist and other information that you might be curious about. All the products I've used are linked down there as well. Thank you so much for being with me today. Thanks for clicking on my channel. Remember to like and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys again very soon in my next video. Bye!